Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back from the MLG offices in New York City. Today is Wednesday, and we're watching the XMG Pro Invite, a tournament featuring 8 pro players in StarCraft 2, and also featuring some potential balance changes that Blizzard is currently considering implementing in the game StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm.
That's right, of course. In that last series, we saw it a bit in that first game. The Oracles, you know what? It's much harder to keep track of Oracles now. They move so freaking fast. You know, to put things in perspective, with the new proposed balance changes, an Oracle is the same move speed as a Mutalisk.
Every Protoss is like...
But at 2 shots workers.
Yeah.
Imagine a Mutalisk at 2 shot workers.
I wonder if we're ever going to see like 5 Oracle hit squads.
You're going to need 5, like 3.
3 Oracle hit
Well, I
squads.
get 5 if they have like a cannon, because 5 would just kill the cannon and the base. Dude, I'm going to do that in PvP. As long as they don't have Phoenix, you just get like 5. Yeah, you just get 5 and you run and kill a cannon, run away.
But you don't tell people that.
Oh.
Because now they're going to
Shoot.
All right, let's get into the game. It's Strelok versus Morrow. This is going to be the second best of 3. Of course, we just saw San take down Daisy 2-0 to secure himself a spot in the best of 5 final. Of course, here we are in game 1 of the second semifinal. Best of 3 between spawning the bottom right-hand location of Alterzim's Stronghold, a new map featured in this tournament, making its debut in professional play. Either a Terran player, Morrow.
And of course his opponent in the upper right hand location. Representing Team Na'Vi, we had the blue Terran, Strelok. And if you guys were watching his tournament yesterday, Strelok loves his battle cruisers.
Does Strelok stream?
You know, I'm not sure if he does. You know what, you should tweet at him, ask him to let you guys know when he streams. Because if you love battle cruisers, you
don't see him too often.
Unless you watch Strelok.
Right.
And then you see a lot. And you know what's crazy is this guy's one of the best Terrans in Europe.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's one thing to just talk about, like, oh, you know, I watch, you know, Battle of the Bronzes and I saw a bunch of battle cruisers. But no, this guy makes it work at the pro level.
He's creative, man.
Yeah, we saw him use it against Ret.
And we got some feedback in the chat. Athenius, Dargok, Tiago, Carval, and Concept of Death saying he does indeed stream. So definitely go check out Strelok's stream and be entertained by the battle cruisers that he makes. Morrow, on the other side of things, is a very creative, entertaining player as well. I feel like everyone in this tournament was kind of chosen for those reasons, in a sense.
Absolutely.
So this should be an interesting TBT. Of course, the map is Alterzim's Stronghold. This is going to be the first we're seeing of it on this day. Very massive map, as you guys can probably tell if this is your first experience of it. You kind of see a few clusters of bases. It's not like there's any bases in the middle of the map. You got like 3 in the top right, 3 in the bottom right, 3 in the bottom left, 3 in the top left. Then you got 2 expansions in between each of those. So in total, that's... Did you do the math while I was saying it?
20.
20. Yep,
Sorry.
it is 20.
So
20 bases is a lot for a StarCraft 2 map.
Yes.
Very expansive, very big map. Protosses have been liking this because you could put pylons in obscure locations. Zergs have been loving it because you could actually Nidus in places.
I think 20 might be the most of any map I've seen. Whirlwind is 16, I believe. Yeah, because Whirlwind's 4 basically per player. Yeah, I do think this may be... Frost might be up there. Frost is pretty darn crazy. But this is a gigantic map, is basically what we're saying. And you can see both players went Command Center first because of that. Now, we should talk a little bit about how the balance changes will affect TVT.
Yeah.
So, as far as Terran are concerned, there's 3 changes to Terran, right? One of them being Widow Mines do less damage on the exterior ranges of their splash radius.
Yep.
That probably won't play a huge role in TVT. Widow Mines are used in TVT, but they're often really used to, you get 1 or 2 out to keep an eye on your opponent's potential third base, to intercept a medevac or a banshee or a Viking, and in all those cases you don't care about
the splash.
Yeah, or the very
it's
edge
not
of the
like
splash.
that probably has the most effect on TVZ with
in fact,
a bunch of speedlings or
yes,
something.
Speedlings or banelings are the 2 big ones. And in fact, it's almost a buff to the Widow Mine against something like a Banshee Harass because you're less likely to splash your own SCVs when that Widow Mine goes for the Banshee. So I don't think that's going to affect anything. But the 2 big changes are siege tanks fire faster now in siege mode. So they'll basically get in 11 hits when you used to get in 10.
Yep.
Or maybe it's 10 when you used to get in 9. I forget the exact math. I think it's 10 when you used to get in 9. So it's actually like an 11% damage increase, you could think of it. Which is a pretty big jump, right?
Sure.
That's like getting an extra. You basically start with a free attack upgrade, so to speak. And the way that'll take effect is that it's hard to say that makes mech way better, because you can still just get a lot of tanks and marines, right? I mean, why not? So it definitely makes tanks a lot stronger. But in TBT, maybe it'll be more hybrid strategies, or maybe it'll be more full mech, because full mech does tend to have more tanks than even a tank marine build does.
Oh, that Hellion is in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He found his opponent, of course. This was the first scouting done by Morrow. Was one Hellion each direction. His opponent, of course, spotted him with that SCV scout. So Strelok went with SCV, Morrow just Hellions. And while we're seeing this push out, the last change is that in the Armory, there's no longer a separate vehicle upgrade and ship attack upgrade. They're both the same attack upgrade. So
basically, all mech units essentially are share upgrades, no matter if they're air or ground.
And that is going to make mech better, or it's going to make it easier to transition.
Oh, poor Marine. Ouch. Poor
yeah.
guy.
It's going to make it easier to transition to air and late game from mech.
Johnny,
basically.
you go first. Okay, guys, are you sure? Yeah, man, go ahead. Bye, Johnny.
Well, here's Johnny number 2.
Aw, David. Oh.
Oh.
Wow, Morrow showing mercy.
Well, Morrow did that on
Lifting
purpose.
the explosion and substituting it with flames.
Is that mercy?
I don't know.
I would rather. Oh,
that's
the
a nice
Viking
pickup.
uses. That's actually big. The Viking is one of the most important units in his composition, because he really wants high ground vision. And of course, he still has one Viking, but if Morrow can get out superior air control. Oh, look at those Hellions running straight in there, roasting all the Marines.
And they're trying to get next to the tank so the tanks can't shoot him. And now this is very awkward for Strelok.
Oh, and the Viking landed,
And
but
there's
now
a Banshee.
Oh man.
Banshee lived. Then he's gonna die here. Yeah. What would you rather do? Die to a Viking or die to a Banshee? That Viking had to decide.
Yeah, I don't know. I would die to the Banshee. You don't want to like be crippled and then fall through there. That's a tough way to go. Anyways, another engagement. This time, Strelok's Banshee or Viking has more life than Morrow's. This Banshee's days may be numbered unless you get reinforcements. Maybe he'll take a tank out with him. No, he uses Cloak.
Is there a scan available for Strelok? It looks like there isn't. I mean, wow. This is... I like the idea behind that Strelok. I like the idea behind the push, but Morrow seems to be doing all the right things to kind of counter it in a sense.
Yeah, I don't mind the push at all. The one thing to consider, though, is this map is very big. So by the time even though he had more units early on.
And the Widowmine slowed him down, too.
Yeah, the 2 Widowmines were actually both really big. You know what? The biggest thing was actually, imagine if he had 2 Vikings like he wanted to with that push. That would look totally different.
The Banshee is not an issue.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the Vikings just got taken out before the engagement even started. That's
by the Widowmine, yeah.
That's huge. So here's people are saying, oh, TBT will be all mech now with the new patch. Well, Strelok will go mech against Zerg, which most Terrans won't. But yet he's going bio here. So just because you buff tanks doesn't mean you have to go mech. You can see Strelok is making tanks, but he's still going Marines as well behind it. So we're going to see a biomech composition from Strelok against a pure mech of Morrow. This is going to be very interesting. Now, on a giant map...
2 armors on the way, by the way.
Yeah, he's really want to get those mech upgrades. Of course, there's Banshee's going to get carried here.
Scan by Banshee. I'm wondering, why was he over there anyway? I would be trying to go to the mineral line at the back.
Yeah.
Does Strelok have turrets back there at his at his natural expansion, I should say?
Oh, yeah, he does. But, I mean, the Banshee could still pick at the edges.
I think that's where I would have gone.
Yeah.
Well,
that pilot disagreed with you. Now, Strelok does not have a 3rd command center yet, which is interesting given how big the map is. Went for the early push. Morrow, on the other hand, has 3 bases and has mech and has a higher supply count. So that kind of shows when you go for that early push that Strelok did, what can kind of happen. He's a little bit behind.
Yep.
Now, that being said, he can still catch back up in the game. You know, his Stimpak's almost done. He has this medevac crossing the map.
Is that 3rd base just starting?
Yes.
So for Morrow, his has been done.
For about a minute now, it's been landed.
Wow.
Okay, here we go. A lot of Blue Flame Hellions.
So this is going to be really interesting because the attack path for these guys is there's pretty much only one.
Oh, great. You set up a missile turret. Only 4 Marines got out.
Still a bit annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying. It's still probably worth it. Morrow's going to have to send some units back there.
Losing mining time.
He's going to lose the turret as well. These Hellions should clean this up. He might even get another SCV or 2 if he's on top of things. Oh, he's going to get a Hellion.
But yeah, like in TBT, there's really only one attack path. Like, kind of Newkirk-esque. Oh, is that an attack path over there?
Oh, Strelok disagrees.
Whoa. Oh, that's... What?
This is awesome.
So, you go through there, and then you can Well, you're still going along the same path eventually. Like,
yes.
Because right there is where we're going to end up, which is where you would end up anyway.
If your opponent's trying to guard like this area, you can kind of get the high ground and get it contained.
Start
or even
leapfrogging forward.
Yeah, that's too far to
Build
go.
a platform right there in between, and then...
You know what? If you could just kind of cross this zone right here.
If there's a way to activate that into a bridge.
Yeah.
By donating some money
or you just pick up a medevacs. But oh no, there's so many turrets here.
Okay, 3 turrets, 4 turrets, 1 medevac gonna fall, a second medevac gonna fall, not before 2 tanks are dropped and a few Marines.
Meanwhile, we just have a Hellion poking into third base, checking on that. Tanks are in siege mode, so this is gonna be a little bit annoying to clean up.
Ouch.
It's hard to tell if it was worth all the losses, though. I mean, two medevacs.
He lost 2 medevacs, and then he's gonna lose all these units eventually. Like a Banshee can go clean that up.
Oh, this is kind of Strelok losing track of his units. A small squad, they'll be cleaned up.
Wow, SCV's actually gonna engage.
And these tanks got a decent number of kills. Total workers killed now we see is 14 from Strelok. Of course, that's partially from that Marine drop. Probably got 4 or 5, then another 8 or 9 from the Marine tank drop right there. Morrow still has a supply advantage though, and if you look at workers, it's still very even because of the lateness of Strelok's third.
I haven't seen a TBT in a while. This is pretty refreshing. From here, it's all going to be about positioning, taking additional bases, finding out where your opponent is, and then slowly making advances forward, maybe incorporating some drop play, maybe incorporating some Banshee play. Now, switching to starports would be interesting, because generally in every TBT that decision is made as we see 2 starports placed down there by Strelok. Of course, it's usually dependent upon getting 6 gases, 8 gases. You want a lot of gases if you're making that transition to starports, and you want to feel safe from an attack because it takes some time getting a starport transition out. And Morrow has decided he wants to get some stuff done. That's about 20 Hellions.
That's a lot of Hellions. Now, they're surrounded by Bioforces. Tanks are unsieged.
Whoa.
Now they're sieging up. Is Strelok going to back away here? Yes, he is.
Remember, Morrow has 1-1. He's got 2-2 on the way.
Strelok only has a single attack upgrade for his... Oh, no, he's 1-1 as well. Excuse me.
So we're seeing Morrow go exclusively with the mech. Strelok going mixing it up a little bit.
He's getting all 3.
Yeah.
He's getting tanks, bio, and he's actually going to air as well.
So it's a little bit less efficient, but it's a little bit more flexible. So interesting differences in these guys' play.
And he's still getting some mech upgrades. Of course, that'll help us air and his siege tanks. Now, oh no. If those tanks get sieged up on the third base, this is going to be disaster for Strelok. He's abandoning the SCVs.
Wow. Morrow is getting a fantastic position. Once those tanks siege up, it's going to be impossible to break in. Strelok kind of realizing that because Morrow, he was up to 4 bases, and Morrow, Strelok's third, his third alone was the one that was being attacked. So it's a situation where he's like, okay, I'm going to be on 2 bases. My opponent's going to have a great position on my third, and my opponent also has 4 bases.
Yeah.
Double the economy of mine. So Strelok just stuck in a position where he just didn't have enough to deal with what Morrow was throwing at him. It's
a very rough spot there, and it all kind of, Strelok fell behind me, went for that early push, and just wasn't able to get any damage done. He was totally shut down. He tried a couple drops, and they got like 14 SCVs, but remember, he lost 3 medevacs in total.
He kept throwing those medevacs away, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of resources lost there as well. It's hard to tell how much that was worth it.
Yeah. I mean, Terran versus anything, medevacs are probably one of the most important units.
Yes.
Those are the units you want to stay alive.
They're expensive.
Yeah, like TVZ, for example, you're okay losing your bio force when you're pushing as long as you scoot your medevacs out of there, keep those guys alive, because Marines and Marauders are much easier to rebuild. It's kind of the same situation in this game where a lot of the medevacs are falling away, and that idea in general of not valuing your medevacs I think is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, he really just wanted to make a drop play work, but Strelok had so many turrets.
Yeah.
Just punished him every time.
I mean, it's recognizing where his opponent is and recognizing his vulnerabilities. So that backdoor expansion, the only way to get in there is by air, so you set up some turrets. So really nice heads-up moves there from Morrow. He's going to take the 1-0 advantage in the second semifinal, the XMG Balance Test Pro Invite. He's up 1-0 against Strelok. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Game 2.